Come along with us as we explore the island of Newfoundland, Canada in part 2 of our 11-day adventure. We woke to a crisp morning in Twillingate, thankful the foghorn from the Long Point Lighthouse didn't wake us during the night. Driving to the bottom of the hill, we stopped at Seabreeze Park, where many overlanders spent the night. From here we headed out to hike the Nanny's Hole Trail. Our next hike was on the French Beach Trail, walking across the stony beach. Leaving Twillingate, we went in search of a homey seafood restaurant. Along the waterfront in Hillgrade, off the beaten path, we found Sansom's restaurant. This was exactly what we were looking for and was kind of like eating in your neighbor's kitchen. The food was delicious with fresh lobster from boat to pot to plate the same day. A little more than 200 miles away, we arrived at Elliston, which is one of the most popular locations to see the Atlantic puffin, Newfoundland's provincial bird. The best time to see puffins in Newfoundland is from mid-May to mid-September. We arrived on a cool June evening and spent a couple of hours, only leaving because we were getting cold and needed to find camp for the night. Puffins are migratory seabirds, but in the spring and summer, puffins gather in colonies on the coast and the islands of North Atlantic Ocean to breed. And the puffins get all dressed up for this breeding affair. In the winter, their beaks are gray, but in the spring, they turn a flashy orange color. Fortunately for us, this makes them all the more photogenic. This viewing time was a dream for my wife, as this was her biggest goal on this trip, and the puffins did not disappoint. In the area, we discovered the largest collection of root cellars in the world. The Elliston area boasts more than 100 surviving examples of these early cold storage units, with many of them restored for public viewing. Cellar construction and design skills were passed on from generation to generation. For example, cellars in Elliston normally faced east because an easterly wind bears no frost. Potatoes, turnips, carrots, and cabbage are this area's chief crops. Did we mention how big the island of Newfoundland is? It's roughly the size of the state of Virginia and is affectionately called the Rock. The Newfoundland and Labrador province of Canada is composed of the island of Newfoundland and the larger mainland sector, Labrador, to the northwest. It's the newest of Canada's 10 provinces, having joined in 1949, with its name officially changed to Newfoundland and Labrador in 2001. Newfoundland even has its own time zone, which is 30 minutes earlier than the Atlantic time zone. Our next stop was the Dungeon, a collapsed cave with 2 outlets to the cove. The weather was terrible, but the animals didn't seem to mind, as we saw a beautiful fox, a llama, and several free-range horses.
I'm the welcoming committee.
Yeah. Hey there, buddy. Hey. Hey there.
Hi. Goodbye. He's got more.
Eventually, we worked our way up to the Cape Bonavista Lighthouse Provincial Historic Site, hoping to see more puffins. The lighthouse at Cape Bonavista was built between 1841 and 1843 to mark the entrances to Bonavista and Trinity Bays and to aid mariners headed for Labrador. The 2-story wooden building is constructed around a masonry tower topped by a lantern and is the 4th oldest lighthouse in Newfoundland. In 1962, the lighthouse went dark, replaced by an electric light on a nearby steel skeleton tower. In the 1970s, the lighthouse was restored for use as a museum by the provincial government. Every minute?
Every 30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay.
The light used to do every 30 seconds. White, white, red. Every 30 seconds, the red, I guess, would show.
Okay.
And that told them, like every lighthouse has its own timer,
Okay.
right? So like the next one down might be 28 seconds.
And they would know by the time.
And they would know by the time, and then they have this flag signaling system. If you could see the flag. And then when you're carrying on conversations, you only have 29 seconds to say anything. You can shut up for about 2 seconds.
There you go. Thanks for the info.
Live and learn.
We were able to see puffin in the area, however they were quite a ways away and we needed the telephoto lens to capture a few shots. Back south, we stopped in Trinity to see the Most Holy Trinity Church, the oldest standing wooden church in Newfoundland, built in 1833. Also in town was the beautiful St. Paul's Angelica Church and the cemetery with headstones dating back at least to 1797. From town, we were able to see the Fort Point Lighthouse across the cove, saving us a long drive around and up the peninsula. Just outside the town of Trinity was the abandoned Trinity Loop Fun Park. This had been a train-focused amusement park with tracks running all the way around the Loop Pond. The park closed in 2004 with the site abandoned to the elements, including the 2011 Hurricane Igor that washed out much of the railway. Today, Trinity Loop is a sprawling maze of dilapidated train tracks, graffiti-filled ruins, and ghostly murals. We saw a map marker for Rattle Falls and decided to stop since it was on our way and only a short hike. This was a nice waterfall with a powerful cascade plus several Bridalveil-style falls. final destination for the day was the wreck of the SS Charcot in Conception Harbor. This was a steel whaling ship originally built in Norway in 1923. This ship, along with two others, the SS Suka and the SS Southern Foam, were moored in the harbor sometime between 1968 and 1970, depending on which site you read, and broke their moorings during a storm. All three ships sank, with Charcot the only one visible above the water. Along with the hull of the ship, many old mechanical parts lie on the beach today. Diving exploration is allowed, with instructions on a sign at the site. It was getting late, so we drove to a boondocking spot on Cupid's Pond, joining a camper van in the gravel lot. Join us on our next video as we complete our adventures in Newfoundland, visiting the capital city of St. John's, Cape Race, the town of Gander, and more. Until next time.
Find this dog and he'll take you there.